Alright, so jumping straight in, the first thing you guys need to know is about actually which upgrades to get and leveling up. So as you can see here, I've unlocked all of the characters available in the game, which is Aloy, Val, Tirsa, and Erend. You can see that Aloy is level 13, Val is level 6, Tirsa is level 7, and Erend is level 11. Now, if you're playing in co-op, obviously these other characters will level up with you, but if you're playing solo, then you should probably main one character, like I am, for example, where I'm leveling Aloy first. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because as you level up, you start to unlock a whole bunch of perks. So as you can see here, at level 2, you get bow damage, at level 3, you get extra heart, at level 4, you get bow damage, and so on. And it keeps going on to get like weak point damage, so you do more damage to enemy weak points. And you can just see here, 14's bow damage, 15's bow range, more bow damage, extra health, extra weak point damage, bow damage, and bow speed. So if you main a character first of all, before you just start leveling up all the characters, you'll actually be able to have an easier time, especially when you get to those Apex hunts later on. So if you look in the bottom left, you can see that I have 7 hearts on Aloy because I've been leveling up Aloy, but if I played someone like Val, I would not have that. Now, when it comes to the major upgrades, you guys will also want to pick the best ones. And personally, I think the best ones here at the early game are these XP upgrades. So when you remove weak points from a robot, you will then see you can get up to 50% extra XP. You already know that this is one of the best upgrades because you are constantly knocking weak points off the machines, and that means extra XP to level up quicker. Then you have Environmental Warrior. This one is kind of slightly harder to do, but you do get plus 75% if you can lead them into an environmental danger. Then, of course, I've also got Power User here, which is gadgets and rare weapons are more powerful. Gadgets and rare weapons are already incredibly powerful, but if you fully upgrade Power User, you'll have an extra 45% damage, which is just fantastic. I do want to unlock Gadget Surprise, but as you can see, I still need to get 4,500, because this will let you start with a random gadget, which gives you a bit more power straight away at the start of levels. Then you also have Rare Surprise. This is also a very good one, because this will let you start with a random rare weapon, and these are, again, very good weapons that you can get early on. Then you have a Gadgeteer, which is earn more XP when you use gadgets or rare weapons to defeat enemies, which is basically a must-have. You get 75% extra XP when you fully upgrade this just by defeating something with a gadget or a rare weapon, which you will have at the start of levels if you get these two, so that's also a very good way to level up. Now, another thing you need to be aware of is that by the end of Chapter 2, you'll have unlocked all 4 characters. This is where you can come up to Val if you're playing a single player and literally just swap with him here. And if you travel up north in Nora Village, you'll eventually find Tirsa here just before the entrance to the second chapter's levels. So you'll have to just come over here if you want to play as Tirsa. Then if you want to play as Erend, which is a fan favorite from Horizon, you just need to come over to this donut statue and you'll see Erend is just vibing here in the jungle area to the right of Nora Village. Very easy to find and very easy to get, but you have to kind of travel for all 3 of them, so that's where you find those. Now, when you're also playing through the game, you'll notice you have this thing called the community board here, and if you come over to it, as you get more golden bricks, you'll start to unlock more challenges all the way until you get like 90 golden bricks, and you can see I've completed a whole bunch already. So these are pretty good because these community jobs here, you can see, will reward you with golden bricks to unlock different things in your base and also just in general unlock different things. So you can see here a brush with greatness, for example, will reward me with 5 golden bricks if I repaint 8 buildings. So that's not too difficult. Obviously, you're going to have to play through the game a bit to get those buildings, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Then example here, boom times. You need to defeat machines with barrel explosions during the main levels. You can get 3 golden bricks by doing this. Then if you play a mission as Val, for example here, you get 1 golden brick. My suggestion would be to complete the easiest ones you can, because 1, you're going to just get golden bricks by playing through the campaign, and you're going to collect a lot of these as you go through. So do the easiest ones first, then kind of like work your way through the harder ones. For example here, machines defeated with barrel explosions is going to take a few runs of missions, so don't feel like you need to do this all in one go. You can just casually do this as you're playing through the game, so don't focus on that. Focus on the easy ones like Policing the Wilds, where you have to defeat 20 cultists as a police officer, which is why I have the skin. Now, if you don't know, to customize, you need to unlock this hut just over here to the right of the community posts. If you enter, you can unlock a ton of different customizable outfits, all ranging from Horizon Zero Dawn, Lego City, Lego Ninjago, Amusement, and the premium ones if you bought the deluxe edition of the game. They're alright, they're not too fancy, but yeah. So you're not missing out. You can even customize your own outfits too. Now, while we're still on the topic of community posts, you'll also be able to customize some buildings you unlock. Here, for example, is a large one. So if you click customize, you can see that you can customize the roof, the yard, the plot, and hut color. You're going to need to do the repainting one eventually, so you can see how you can repaint them. You just select paint color and you just select it. You can change the plot here, that's not an issue. Then you can also change what's in the yard. So as you can see, I need to get free NPCs to dance at the disco. I don't have enough coins for this yet, or studs, to actually unlock this yet, but once I do, we can get that out the way. I had to unlock the observatory, for example, on one of the community posts already, and you have to use it. So what you do is you come up to it and you can interact with them like this. So you can see that the observatory will change the time of day, for example, and that's how I completed that community post. Just throw that egg. But yeah, you can change all sorts to like different roofs from Horizon, Lego City, Ninjago, Amusement, and Village again. So you can literally customize whatever you like. It's not anything too out of the ordinary, but that's how you customize things there if you need to. You can even customize these smaller decorations around the village, which is kind of nice. So to unlock these other buildings, if you're already just like getting into the game, you can see here, for example, large building. You need to reach 30 golden bricks to build. Now, there are multiple of these all over the village, and you're going to need a different amount of golden bricks per one. This one here is just an example of 30. There was one earlier that only required 2, and one that required like 10 or 20, something like that. So it's quite easy to find your way to those, so you don't have to really struggle too much. Now, as you're progressing through the campaign, you can see on the left side, I'm on chapter 3 already, and you can see that there is a golden brick counter at the top and like this kind of like sticker sheet with 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that kind of adds things onto it as you progress through the story. And at the bottom, it kind of shows you landmarks that you have discovered once you discover them. Now, you might not discover all the landmarks on the first go while playing through the campaign because you're collecting golden bricks. But when you finish that campaign chapter, you'll start to then unlock these things called Hunting Grounds, Apex, Machine Hunt. So here you can see I've already completed 2, and these don't reward golden bricks. They reward Apex bricks, which are red bricks, basically. You can see 2 of them are still locked, so I don't know how to unlock those just yet, but I'll figure that out. And you can kind of progress through these. These are kind of like a little bit tougher boss battles where you get put into arena and you have to fight one big major enemy and multiple enemies that are good at the same time. These are very good to get XP, to get studs, and also just get anything else you need stud-wise or unlocks for your village. It's a very nice challenge as well for like a challenge perspective if you're playing. But if you are struggling, guys, then you can always just go straight into the menu and go to options. I believe it's in gameplay. You can change the difficulty mode all the way down to story if you're struggling. I have it on adventurer and it's still challenging, but you have machine hunter and hero for those who really want a serious challenge. Now, when you get into the game, you can see, for example, I have one of the rare weapons. This one is quite nice because it shoots multiple different arrows all at once. Especially if you charge up, it will charge a ton of arrows and you can fire them all at once, which is amazing. This is just an example of one of the rare weapons in the game. You can get like a frost bow, a fire bow, which all does elemental damage, and they're very strong, especially when you can charge up like so many different shots and just fire them all at bosses and normal enemies. You're really not going to struggle using these rare weapons, which is why I suggest getting them, especially when it comes to gadgets too. Now, I just want to give you a quick example of some of the puzzles you'll solve in this game, because as an example here, you can see that there's a chest behind these leaves. So you can kind of like fire your bow through them. If I swap to the regular bow, and there we go, we can then burn that. Now, what these chests do is literally just give you studs. This game is very unlike other Lego games where you don't find any hidden collectibles or items you need to collect multiple of during each mission. It's pretty much just straightforward, go through the level. If you do find a secret that you can build or a chest to open, all you're going to get is studs. There are no rewards you have to go out of your way to find, which is kind of a shame. Because Lego games are known for having to find, like, for example, Lego Harry Potter, you had to build the house badge, you had to find the golden bricks, you had to find the mini kits, that type of stuff. And it's a shame this Lego game doesn't have that. But this Lego game also wasn't built by or developed by TT, Traveler's Tales. So, you know, there is that too. So this is an example of one of the gadgets I was talking about, and these are rush boots. Now, gadgets are primarily very strong. This one is not one of the strongest I have. This one's just to teleport around, you can see there. It's very strong, though, in terms of dodging out of the way of enemies, and that's where it gets its use from. Anything else, it's not that great. But as you can see here, like if you charge up your attacks, you do a lot of damage. So make sure, as a tip, that is one of the things you need to do. It is difficult to charge up multiple attacks with this bow though when you have things charging at you, but you can very quickly delete things. So as an example here, we've now got the blast boots, so we can then jump on enemies and literally just damage them with fire damage, which is lovely. You do need to be careful of doing this though, because it will get rid of your cover too. So yeah, take note of that. So when you're low on health, you can approach one of these trees here. They have berries on them. If you eat the berries, you'll get health back from the fight. That's how I just lost some health before during the fight just a moment ago. So I came up to one of these trees and got my health back. Very nice. Another thing to take note of is when you're defeating enemies and machines in general, sometimes their parts will drop on the floor and be interactable, and you can use them against machines. For example, you can see here, we can pick up this head and it will start to fire, and we can aim this at enemies and items that we want to destroy. It's a nice little tip to just be able to use something that the enemies have, just to give you a bit of an advantage in a fight, and also change the variety of it too, so you don't get bored doing the same thing over and over again. Now, if you're looking for explosive barrels, this is what they look like. You can get electric ones and frost ones, but they all look kind of the same, and you can pick these up and in general just carry them to wherever you want and throw them by holding down the throw button. It's pretty basic, very simple, but you can get some bonus stuff for killing enemies with those. And if you see any of these glowing bricks, these are the build points. Now, when you build it, it just creates like a little statue or a hut in this case, or a snowman in the ice levels. And all you get again is studs. So there aren't any collectibles like I've already previously stated, which is a big shame. Now, what you just saw there was an example of getting like the best reward from these chests. I know a lot of you might not see these because they are very rare, but at some points you'll get like thousands of studs from chests because they basically shoot out about 4 or 5 times instead of just the basic one time. So it's very nice and very rare when you get a chest that opens up like that. So one thing I want to mention as well is that while you're playing through a level, you'll be able to come across these level hazards. Now, when you're using your focus, you can see the weak points on enemies and machines, but you won't be able to see any dangers around you like a level hazard here. What you can do, however, is go into your options, go to gameplay and scroll down, and you'll see level hazards in focus. Now, by default, this is off, but you can turn it on if you want to highlight level hazards just to help you out if you're struggling to see them. And then while playing through levels, you're going to come across this trader every now and then. Now, this is great because you got free chests, and these will give you different rare weapons or different gadgets. For example, we've just got the gravity bomb here, so we can kind of put these down by throwing them. Very nice and very powerful. But you can see here, for example, we've also got the shock spear. But this requires Vol. So if you're playing in multiplayer, then getting something like this is amazing. Especially since I'm playing Aloy and I can now get the shock bow, which is fantastic. But again, I can't use the shock spear because we need Vol. So any person who's playing with us and playing Vol could use that, or if I was playing Vol myself. So make sure you guys actually try out some of these new powerful gadgets and weaponry you find here, because it's a great way to find how powerful they are. You'll also notice that they have pluses next to the actual icon of the gadget or weapon. That shows it's more powerful than a, like for example, if we have two pluses here, it's more powerful than a weapon with only 1 plus or a gadget with 1 plus. So kind of go for what's more powerful or just your favorite item to use in general, because everyone's going to have preferences. And then guys, for my last tip here, you can get a really cool method of getting studs pretty easily. So as you can see here, we have a small plot of land, and as you can see, it was a bit premature and shot out the studs already. So as you see, we own this one here. Okay, that's done it too. We got 500 studs from the large building, and we got 200 studs from the smaller building. So as we start to unlock buildings around Mother's Heart and Nora Village, you'll actually be able to get a ton of studs. So as you can see here, we have another smaller building. We run up to the blue symbol and another 200 studs. Now, if we do the same with the last one over here, which is a big building again, we will get another 500. So at this point in the game where I'm at, you're getting a total of 1,400 studs every time you come back from a mission, no matter what. And if you start to unlock more of these buildings, like over in the jungle area and in the desert area, you'll be able to get over like 2,000 studs after every mission just by coming back to the base every time. So that's going to help you unlock a bunch of customization options, skins, and upgrades very quickly in the game. Anyway guys, I hope this video did help you, and if it did, please click the like button below and subscribe for more LEGO Horizon adventures. I hope you guys are having a brilliant day, and I'll see you again in the next one.